guys, I've made a lot of different videos on here about different things that upset me that go on, but this is something that really gets to me. So, there's a guy, his name is Donald Goodrich, and I've been hesitant, and I really want to throw this guy's name out there. Am I going to get on my channel and do this? And yeah, I am. So, this guy, I did a Facebook transaction, and I took some stuff to his house, and I get there, and he's wearing a handgun, in plain sight. No big deal. He's on his own property, so it doesn't matter if he has a license to carry or not. He's in his own front yard. I'm like, oh, this guy wants me to know he's packing, so I don't try to rip him off. Whatever, I'm cool with it. But then he goes on to tell me that he is the sheriff of a certain county in Texas. He said, I am the sheriff. And we talked for a little bit, and I knew he was full of crap, and I played dumb, and I told him about my law enforcement experience, and, he offered me a job as a deputy, and I was like, oh, cool, playing along with it. He then went on to tell me that he is a United States Marshal, and he is an investigator for Interpol. So, can you work for a sheriff's department and be a United States Marshal at the same time? Yes, you can. You actually can. You can be what's called a Special Deputy U.S. Marshal, which is a task force, a fugitive task force, where they can actually swear you in, and you work on a task force along with being at the sheriff's office or whatever agency you're with. Those do exist. I've known guys that have been on those task forces. I was never personally on one, but I do know guys that have been on them. So I go home, and I'm like, I'm going to add this guy on Facebook. So I do. And he accepts my friend request. At which time, I notice he has the badge of a certain Texas law enforcement agency as his background. I don't remember what that picture's called, but his background on Facebook. And then his employment says something about like a sergeant at Blackwater. And then it also says sheriff at a certain county in Texas, and it wasn't the county he told me. And I did some research and looked at a website, real easy to do, found out he wasn't the sheriff of that county either. And in fact, I contacted a lieutenant at this county, and it told him who I was and everything, and he told me that that guy was not employed with their agency. In fact, he sent him a Facebook message telling him to remove their badge and the fact that he works for their agency off of his Facebook page, or criminal charges would be filed. Don't know if there's enough for them to actually file criminal charges there or not. There may possibly be, but not 100% sure. So, this guy has a lot of issues, and it just really upsets me, and I haven't even got to the best part of the story yet. I mean, y'all are gonna love this. So, he told me about the Blackwater thing, that he was in Blackwater, and for those of you who don't know, it's a private security company. They do a lot of overseas contracts. They hire a lot of vets and teen guys and former law enforcement, and I don't know if you have to be any of those to be hired or not. I don't want to speculate. I'm not sure, but anyway, so I asked him if he was I asked him if he was in the military, and he said, yeah, I was. I was in the Air Force. I said, awesome. What'd you do in the Air Force? He said, I was a Navy SEAL. Yeah. A Navy SEAL in the U.S. Air Force. Any team guys or SEALs or anybody watching this that wants to correct me, please do in the comments. But does anybody know anybody that was in the Air Force and went through BUD/S? I mean, maybe if he did his time, got out of the Air Force, and then went in the Navy and got in that way. I don't know, but anyway, this guy is totally full of crap. Police impersonators, in my opinion, are very dangerous. you don't know what he intends on doing. You don't know if he's out there stopping cars and taking advantage of people or what's going on. In Texas, impersonating a peace officer is hard. They have to actually do something for their financial benefit. So that would be like, Starbucks gives free coffee to Leos that are in uniform. So if you went into Starbucks and got free coffee impersonating a peace officer, that'd be a crime. Or if you make somebody submit to your authority, so you put lights in your car, you stop a car, they're submitting. You ID somebody, they're submitting. You put somebody in handcuffs, then you're making them submit to your authority. Things like that. But stolen valor is a real big thing. Military vets don't like it. Active duty military guys, anybody who's ever been in the military, served in the military, lost a friend in the military, they don't like it. And we in law enforcement are the same way. It's something that you earn. It's a title you earn. And we've all had friends that have at least been hurt, if not killed, doing this job. And I just need y'all to share the crap out of this. Let's make this guy famous. And like I said, if anybody has been the victim of this guy, if he's been out impersonating and doing stuff, contact the jurisdiction where it happened. Let's go ahead and start getting documentation on this guy, and maybe something can be done about it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.